your global news channel. We are back in central London. The internet in the previous live stream completely fell apart, so I had to start a new one. I don't know what's going on there. They are jamming the signals, but some of the others who are doing a live stream seem to be okay, but some of us it was buffering, and we had to start from scratch. So welcome back, and now let's continue the march. We are here in Westminster. A huge group of thousands of British patriots have come out to protest against the Islamic grooming gangs and of course against Keir Starmer's government. And we're going to now go towards Westminster where the stage is. Hello, how are you?
Look at your phone.
Yeah. Got it? There you go.
No, wrong one. Sorry, mate.
Second beer?
Yeah, please. Sorry, Tousi.
We're back, guys. Okay. Thanks,
Get one of all three, but sorry.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Thank you,
Good.
mate.
All right.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks, mate. All right. Hopefully the connection is better now. The internet. What is happening? Are we good now? Okay. If anything happens, don't just tell me it's not working. Those of you who can see it, tell me it's still working. The internet was falling apart, so I had to start again. All right, guys. Let's go back. Let's show this. Ballet.
You didn't bring them back today.
Gay bag.
Good work you're doing, Tousi. You're doing great work.
Thank you, sir.
This is spot the joint. Fucking
Cigar.
yes, me.
There you go.
That's fucking
Okay. Alright, so it seems like the internet is a little bit better. We are now at Trafalgar Square going towards Whitehall where the government locates. There's the Tousi TV flag. Vinny, show the flag again. Absolutely crazy. I promise I did not pay him to do this. It's insane. Doesn't help my ego.
Everyone get behind the banner! Everyone get behind the banner!
Everybody behind the banner. Why is everybody ahead? I mean, I can.
Behind the banner!
I can do whatever I want, but the actual protest is Whitehall. We're at Whitehall now, so we have to be careful. Everybody needs to be organised.
Stay there! Stay there! Keep it
Okay. There we go. There he is. I know, you alright? That's good. Oh, Arsenal, really? That's okay, you alright? Exactly.
Risky business, isn't it? Come off to the stage, you get media pass. I'm going to be out.
We're now in Japan. Because all the Japanese support Arsenal.
Come up to the stage and get our media pass.
I will. Yeah. How's it going, man? You alright? Yes, good. Alright, they're all still waiting. Why are they waiting? Oh my god, look at that Tousi TV flag. So embarrassing. I mean, I secretly love it, but publicly, I have to be humble. Still waiting for everybody else to catch up. Unfortunately, Tommy Robinson couldn't make it today for family reasons. But we still have thousands of people who come out. Very impressive turnout. Hey, yeah. Next second.
It's about you today.
Brilliant.
Right, nice slow walk. Nice slow walk, yeah? One glass for sure, so you get to
It's a cigar. Trying to get me cancelled.
Please stay behind the banner.
Alright, they're gonna move. How's it going, right?
Let's go now.
They're gonna move soon again. There's a sign over there that says I am Tommy Robbins. You seen that sign? It says I am Tommy Robbins. People self-identifying as Tommy.
Today I identify.
Yeah. And there's a sign that says Jesus Christ is King, rejoin your local church. That's a very good message. Rejoin your local church. Protect your values.
Tousi TV. Nice to meet you, man.
How's it going? Thanks. There we go.
Tousi TV.
I think I can take this up now. Hello. Right, I'm going to put this here. The sun is gone for a little bit. Hello, how are you? Right, let's keep going. So far, we haven't seen the mainstream media, Sky News or BBC. I think they're just waiting in the corner for any potential trouble, so they could only report the trouble. Keir Starmer's communist country, it says that sign. That's a German TV. Even the Germans are here. The Germans are here.
What do we want? Children's safe. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Children's safe. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Children safe.
Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Children's safe. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Children's safe. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Children's safe. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Children's safe. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Children's safe. Where do we want it? Now. What do we want? Children's safe.
The Brits have risen up. Enough is enough for the children. Yeah, enough is enough.
No! Children safe! No! Children safe!
I didn't bring my gay bag. You started all this. For those who are watching this live, this guy started the gay bag.
I saw the comment. I have a lot of gay shit too. It's just stylish. It's just style. He's a proud man. Knows who he is, and is not afraid of looking good. It's not gay.
Cosmopolitan.
The bag was gay.
Why is the bag gay?
Why is the bag gay? Why do you need to get at
Why
home?
are
You're
you-
homophobic.
Why are you gay?
I've got a question for you, Tousi.
Yeah.
There you go, look. From this guy, look, yeah?
What does it say?
Ask Tousi
Yeah.
if you could attend his £99 conference for free.
No.
I said it's okay, he owes me 99 quid anyway.
Oh, yes.
There you go, he said yes. I'll hold it for you. I'll be not later. After that, I've got you the
We got the stage ready. Singing Rule Britannia. We are so gonna get copyright strike because of all the music. The French are in town. for the children. Britannia ruled the way. Britain never, never, never shall be slain. I'm gonna go to the backstage.
Louis Errington. I'm first to top.
Gotta get the entry. Gotta wait here.
Sorry?
One Generation Media. David, One Generation Media. Near the top. Oscar.
Tousi TV.
Come on underneath. Tousi, you got +1?
No, no, it's me. Right, I'm in. Got a press pass. Alright, put this up. Alright, let's do this. Look at this. Look at the crowd. Come here. It's too far, Come on. How are you? That's backwards. The flag is backwards. I'm gonna have to put these on again. There we go. Better. Okay. Let's do it. Got it. There we go. Get it?
More lies and cover-ups, justice must be served. The sexual exploitation of children must stop. Enough is enough, we will be heard. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The sexual scandal will be blown over.
It is the naughty corner. You alright? That's good. How are you, mate? You right? There he is. Yes. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
You're that type of calorie.
Yeah, mine is coming in.
They should have gone into the lot before. It's advertised.
They like all the YouTubers, don't they? You know what I mean? They like us, man. Someone's got a life in here.
Trying to We're trying to get Niak to get in from that. As my +1. Niak. How's it going, right?
I live in just over and John's got him. Where's he? Somebody's trying to get
Hold on.
Nice, very good, very good. Harper. She wrote this down.
I was dealing with this. Is it on the list, the +1?
Yeah, the +1 is on the list. Louis Arrington. Near the top, +1.
What's your name?
Yeah, that's my name.
Is that your foot?
Get all your mates out the pub. We need them all down here. Get them out the pub.
So if you can, that'd be brilliant. Yeah. Just if you can, that'd be brilliant. So I want to be able to get
The other way, the other way.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to give yourselves a big pat on the back for coming today. Right, you've been fantastic, right? Thanks for your support.
Thank you.
We launched the For the Children campaign on the 22nd of March this year.
We got the
And
lovely
we kept
Indian
it a little
flag,
bit low
Israeli
key.
flags.
But today has been amazing, and I just want to thank you all for coming. We've got some amazing speakers. Please stay and listen to what they've got a story to tell.
Can I get my
And I
+1
want
Niak?
you to listen to their story, yeah?
Niak,
This,
Niak.
the For the Children campaign,
Yeah, it's my
we're not going away. We're here forever. We want to support the people, all the survivors.
Get one.
The children of this
There we
country
go.
are our future.
We're in.
Yeah, we have to protect them. And if them lot back there ain't going to do it, it's our job to do it, as parents and grandparents.
Yeah. Yeah.
Darling.
In 2017, what can I call it? An army walked on the streets of London, and we named ourselves the Football Lads Alliance. The first march we had in June 2017, in 3 weeks we got together 10,000 lads. The next one in October we had 75,000 football lads walking side by side, not one arrest, not one arrest. And today we done the same thing. We walked in. We have to put our differences aside. This is for our children, yeah. And I want to thank all the football lads that are here today for walking together again. Unbelievable lads, you're amazing.
There we go.
So when we had the big march in 2017, like I said, there was no arrests, but all of a sudden the left come out and deemed us far right and racist. Yeah. This ain't about race. This ain't about colour. This is about our children. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And every single
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
man and woman out there that has a preference for younger kids, whether doesn't matter what colour you are, doesn't matter what race you are, the For the Children campaign are coming for you.
Yeah. I need one of
I'm
those.
going to hand you over just to
Look
Justin.
at that
We've
camera.
got some amazing speakers. Listen to what this man's got to say. Please stay and listen, yeah? And then we'll all go afterwards and we'll all have a drink together, yeah? Thank you for coming.
Well, hello everyone. I'd like to reiterate what Phil just said. It shoves a massive round of applause. I doff my hat to every single one of you. Put feet on the ground today. We've put feet on the ground over the last 8 years. That we, as football lads, have been campaigning for a national inquiry. We first started that in 2017.
9th of August.
And there might have been the odd person doing it, but there weren't many.
Oh my God, we
So
got
there's a
another
lot of people that jumped
got
on the
another
bandwagon lately. Maybe
It's the
for political
bulldog.
games, but we were here in 2017 calling for a national inquiry. What we did, that first march that Phil told you about, 10,000. And then the second one, 75,000 people on the streets, side by side.
Where's your
marching
flag?
all over this country.
Where's your flag?
And concerned parents and grandparents, the same as today. Not everyone is a football lad. We've got concerned parents and grandparents and children from all over this country, from all walks of life, of all colour, here together as one, one people, one colour, one nation. Following 2017, the big march in London, we got requests from people to go to some of these towns, what are known in this country as the grooming towns. Yeah? I'm from Telford, Rochdale, Rotherham. There's 50 of these towns, maybe more all over Britain, with 250,000 kids that have been abused over the years. While this government and other governments, we're not about politics, we're not about any of these, because they've all let our children down. Every single one of them. Let's hear that.
Can we come that way?
So, ladies and gentlemen, we were asked to go to Telford and we were asked to go to Rochdale, and we went. And it wasn't a weekend, these were weekdays. And unlike those people that you passed on the way here, who can't even get more than about 50 out, right? I call them pro-paedophile now, because that's what they are. They come out, they must like paedophiles. I don't get it. Do you get it? We're here, every one of us today, and we pay to come here, out of our own pockets. And when we went to Telford and Rochdale, because these other people, they don't pay. They get paid by their trade unions. And they get paid by people like George Soros, pay their money to come out and campaign. Do you know that? Every single one of you. Has anyone paid one of you lot to come here today? No, I didn't think they had. Why are we here? Because we care. Because we care about what's happening.
I got paid by Mossad to be here.
Children.
Thank you, Mossad.
So when we went to Telford and we went to Rochdale, we gave, I think we empowered some of these young girls. I hope you think, the fact that was going there, I was amazed when we were walking through Telford, all of a sudden, what was 100 or 200 people on a weekday, when I looked behind, there was hundreds more, because the people from those towns and communities came out and they marched behind us. And they're marching with us today, ladies and gentlemen. And can I start off by applauding every one of these survivors, who are with us today, because they're so brave. They're the heroes, they're the heroes. These girls that have spoken out, that have had the courage to come here today, they're the heroes, Some other people like to take all the credit for all these things. Some of these political parties and that, as if they played a big part in it. I'm here to tell you they haven't. The people who played the biggest part are these survivors who had the courage and the strength to speak out, because it isn't easy. So give them a round of applause, please, every one of them.
I didn't recognise you, How are you?
Right, on the back of what we did when we went to Rochdale and Telford, the one in Rochdale was already going. But the one in Telford Nagger,
you look really well.
was sort of founded on the back of what we did. So if people think, you haven't made a difference, we make a difference every time we're trying to do it. And we're trying to make a difference now, and we will be making a difference in the future. They said there wouldn't be an inquiry. There is an inquiry. And we're here to make sure that they do that inquiry properly. That it's transparent, that it's independent, and that it's far-reaching. So that all these people who are complicit in this, all these people, whether they're social workers, whether they're teachers, whether they're policemen, whether they're councillors, whether they're politicians, every one of those people that played a part, as Phil said, we're coming for you as well. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get our first speaker up today. This man I met in 2017, and he'd been campaigning for years before that, with a very special lady who I met with him, called Linda Phillips. And she is like the godmother of all of us here. She passed a few years ago, but I'd love to hear you all please give a round of applause to Linda Phillips. She's no longer with us, and she was doing this for 25 years. So I'm going to ask Billy Howard, Linda, love and respect. Billy Howard, ladies and gentlemen, our UK Rochdale has been doing it for 20 years. Give it up for Billy Howard. Thank you guys. To see so many people here today, it gives me hope that this is going the right way. For 20 years, I've seen us hit brick wall after brick wall. Today, I've just seen that brick wall crumble. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to these guys as well, because behind the scenes, they haven't stopped working to put these events on, so survivors like myself can speak. And for these guys, I think they deserve a massive round of applause. My good friend Justin has just spoke to you about a lady by the name of Linda Phillips. In Rochdale, she had the nickname Mrs. Rochdale, but she soon put that to bed. She said, I'm Mrs. Hemorrhoids, because I've been up that council's arse for 30 years. Linda passed away in 2020. I was her right-hand man. She wasn't mine. She was my icon. She was the bar we all tried to reach when we campaigned against the abuse of children. She did it for 30 years. She, like you said, that round of applause didn't do her justice. I think she can get much louder one than that. One of the things Linda was campaigning against was against MP Cyril Smith. I don't think they can hear you.
I need water.
That's better. And the abuse that my boys, who I stand for, from No View School, were abused on epic proportions. They've told you these guys today, we're here to tell you a story. For me, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of how they built a culture to cover up the abuse of children back then, and continue today until we see this inquiry and see the outcome of this inquiry.
I need to find a bottle of water.
I've seen the ICSA inquiry that exposed abuse in schools like Big Tom House, like No View Schools right across the UK. Children, young boys were abused by the people in Westminster and the
how do I
Smith
find
and his
water?
crew. Not one person through this inquiry was held to account. We then moved on to the grooming scandal in Rochdale, which I began working on. I'm probably the only person in Rochdale that has worked with 3 girls. Nobody else has. Today they're still forgotten by the state, received no written support. They can't be here today, but they sent the love and the thanks.
I'll go on that side.
Thank you for your support, it means everything to them. Thank you. We've been to review after review. We've had Operation Augusta. Again, highlighted the absolute failure to protect your children. The absolute failure to protect your children in general right across Great Manchester.
I can get a bottle of water from you.
2 years later, we brought Operation
Thank you.
Spark. And again, it highlighted the same failures, the same mistakes that they made in No View, that they made in Big Tom House, that they made in Operation August.
If I don't drink water soon, I'm going to collapse again during the live stream.
The reason I'm telling you this is I want to show you a pattern of a culture that's established within Westminster of covering up the abuse of children.
Got it.
And we do so, and I want to play you a recording now, if that's possible. This was the head of the Crown Prosecution Service in Greater Manchester. If we can play it, I want you to hear what he said. Just a few stats while we're waiting for this to go ahead of what I remind you people of. 4,000 children in the UK were given police cautions for being prostitutes. That's 4,000 decision makers that should be before the court. 4,000 children was police caution for being a prostitute. There's no such thing as a child prostitute, ladies and gentlemen. It's just child abuse. That's it. Unfortunately, guys, we can't get the recording up. It's unfortunate, but it was Nazir Assal, and I'll give you a quote. These girls, there was a memo sent out by the Home Office that these girls' chaotic lifestyles were the reason for their own abuse. Therefore, it's our instruction that the police do not get involved. That went reverberated right around the country. There's going to be some speakers after me, and they're going to tell you what impact that memo had and who's responsible. We have got the recording now, guys. Alright.
It's very hot.
That's why I'm sitting here, got the draft coming through.
Yeah, no.
Okay, guys, I'm going to get off now and leave it to the other speakers. I want to say a big thank you again.
Let me go behind you,
the team, Darren, Phil, and everybody here, because this is what makes the difference. This is what will see us home, and this is what makes sure a proper inquiry is what we get. Thank you. I'm just going to leave in a little bit there from what Billy was saying, right? Have you understood this? So, in 2008-2009, a memo was sent out, right, to the chiefs of police of every force in this country. And that memo told them not to make arrests about perpetrators, about child abusers. Do not make arrests in the name of diversity.
Look at the hat.
Okay?
Love it.
They didn't think that it was good for their votes. Yeah?
Oh yeah, he's around.
So like a lot of these other politicians, they put votes in front of our children. So the people that sent this memo out, because I want the world to know
Thank you,
about
thanks.
this, okay?
How are you?
Oh,
Was sent out to Gordon Brown via Jackie Smith, who was the Home Secretary at the time. I guess who was head of the CPS at that time. Yeah.
Oh yeah?
I
want a selfie.
So, as head of the CPS, do you not think that he might have had autonomy over that letter? That he might have wrote it himself? Yeah? As a legal advisor to the government? Yeah? Okay? So. Okay, so. Right, so, sorry. Right, so. Yeah, Keir Starmer.
As big as that.
Told Jackie Smith and Gordon Brown. And they sent out a memo not to make arrests. Keir Starmer was in charge of the CPS from 2008 to 2013. Yeah? Have you took that on board? Right, because I'm going to invite somebody else up in a minute to speak to you. Because from 2013...
There's a lot of Arsenal fans here. I'm not happy. All the Arsenal fans.
2013 and 2016,
not one single United fan. Come on.
Alone, there was 713 allegations of child sex abuse. How many arrests do you think they made? We'll hear that. How many? Yeah. Hell yeah. None. And I'm now going to invite my good friend of mine up, Anthony Wood, who founded Telford Nago, which helps all of these people who've been gone through this terrible, horrendous, horrific abuse in Telford, just to give you a description of what that was like in Telford at that time. So ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Anthony Wood from Telford Nago.
Yeah.
Hello everyone. I spoke in, was it March, and there was a few hundred people, but to see this today is just brilliant. I want to start as well. My wife, who's a survivor, said a long time, all these people that turn out for Brexit, COVID, free speech, you know, where are they for the survivors? Well, here they are. So I've been working in Telford for a number of years now, supporting survivors, trying to get justice and campaigning.
Who's got a drone?
Now obviously Telford, along with Rochdale, Rotherham, you know, it was quite,
Israel, stop sending your drones. Stop sending drones.
Now in Telford,
the IRGC.
In Telford, probably more than the police have identified an operation.
Is it a Shahid
between
drone?
250 to 300 suspects.
I know, yeah.
Operation Chalice, they convicted.
That whiskey.
Altogether, they convicted 11.
They're trying to find the drone.
And yet they said this operation was a success. Now, that leaves what? So 250 plus suspects still walking the streets. Is that a success?
You have to read the description.
Exactly.
No, you have to read that.
Cheers.
And
it's
on the back of that, before
to the very handsome and
talented
talented lead guitarist of the greatest freedom rock and roll band ever, love you,
that was sent
and
to the
your
Home Secretary
big
stating that we don't need an inquiry in Telford. This was signed by Liberal Democrat councillors, Labour councillors, the Chief Crime Commissioner. Now, one of the people that signed this letter is a man called Sean Davis. Now, you'd think he'd lost his job. No, would they sack him? Would they get rid of Sean Davis? He's now the MP for Telford. He also abstained from voting for a national inquiry. Can we get a big boo for Sean Davis, please? I really hope you heard that, Sean, because I don't think you'll be MP for Telford much longer. Now, Telford had an inquiry. The government said it's a blueprint for the rest of the country. On the back of this inquiry, how many people lost their jobs? None. How many people actually held accountable? None. So how's that a blueprint for the rest of the country? So I want to lead on to the national inquiry, which, by the way, when we heard Yvette Cooper speaking about the national inquiry in Parliament, we can't deny it was amazing to hear all the things that we've been pushing for years being spoken about in there. It was vindication for people like me, but more importantly, it was vindication for survivors. Because it was only a few months earlier in January where Keir Starmer basically said that they were far right for calling for a national inquiry. Shall we get a boo for Keir Starmer while we're here?
That's good, that's good.
I don't think they quite heard you over there, even though they're not here. Just carry on. Now, I just want to get into as well. It's not just, we talk about Labour, we talk about Keir Starmer, but it's not just about Labour. The Tories ignored it for 14 years. You know, they're now saying they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to do that. Well, what were they doing for the last 14 years? Nothing. They're all as bad as each other. They all try to play party politics. So, we need to ensure this national inquiry. For starters, we need the chair of the inquiry. We want someone, we can't trust our judiciary. We need someone, maybe a foreign judge. Who can you trust in our judiciary? No one. And on the back of that, also when they announced the inquiry, they were going to, I think they're reopening 800 cases leading to 1,000 cold cases. Let's face it, most of these cases that were NFA by the CPS would have been done when Keir Starmer was head of public prosecution. We can't trust them on this national inquiry, but we need to push them to make sure they get it done right. Before I go, there's one more thing I wanted to say, and it's, I've been talking to a family recently across the country, but there are children that never had the chance to become survivors. There are children in Telford who died, in Rochdale, Manchester, Rotherham, across the country, and they never had the chance to become survivors. There's one family I've been talking to at the moment, and there's a girl from Stoke called Jodie Sheeran, and I spoke to the family recently and they asked me to keep banging the drum. Now, Jodie fell a victim to these gangs. She had a son, who I want to say as well, Jaden. If anyone's seen Jaden Sheeran on the TV lately, who's been speaking out at 19 years of age, I want to give him a massive round of applause because he's been brilliant. He is one of the most bravest people in the country right now to stand up, and I respect him for that. Now, his mother sadly is no longer with us. She lost her life. After she was raped, they had DNA to prove who raped her. It went to go to court, but before it had the chance to go to court, on the day of the trial, the police turned up and basically said she's not a reliable witness, so we didn't go through. Now, today they're saying it won't happen because sadly she's dead. She lost her life because of the trauma. And I want us to send a message to the family, to Ange, the mother, a lovely woman who's fighting as hard as she can to get justice for her daughter. We want to get justice for Jodie. We want to get justice for every survivor. And again, they may not be here today, but I wanted to bring around this corrupt, sleazy area of Parliament. I want everyone to say, Jodie, Jodie, Jodie. Jodie, 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 Jodie. That's to you, Ange, mate. Love to the family. Thank you all. Speak soon.
Give it up for Anthony Wood, please. Telford Nagger. Right, ladies and gentlemen, very important. Somebody's flying a drone above us, and the police are saying they'll shut us down if they don't take the drone down because it's over Downing Street.
Israel, stop the drone.
Got the drone. Can you please take it down? Otherwise, they're going to shut us down.
Tell IDF to stop. Not now. They're trying to find Ayatollah Stama. Ayatollah Stama is in Downing.
Is that Vinny down there?
What?
Is that Vinny with the flag? Your
Yeah,
flag?
yeah, it is.
It's Vinny.
Yeah. Okay, look at it.
Right, next up, ladies and gentlemen. So you've heard from two speakers about some of the horrific abuse that's gone on in Telford and in Rochdale. The next person I'm going to ask to speak to you is going to speak to you from behind the curtain here. She's probably the most famous survivor in the country. She was a victim of horrific abuse that she's going to tell you about. She's a survivor, and she's also a very, very big campaigner for what's going on in this country now. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a massive, massive round of applause for Elizabeth Harper, please. One sec.
I've been investigating the Grooming. I've heard about it, but I don't know. We've uncovered a lot of worrying information, and we're going to be placing you guys into surveillance soon. I've been working on what's popular, but I'd like to talk to you about it soon. Oh no, yeah, we could also do it.
Hello everyone, I am Elizabeth, and I come from a small northern town.
Let's talk to you. Every time I message you, man, you leave me on read, but I'll try to get something up to you or your wife. I'll try your number.
The 26th of August 2014.
Save it.
When my hometown dominated every news channel, every radio station, every newspaper, everyone was talking about the day. We've become known as having the biggest child protection scandal ever seen in this country. We was known not just nationally but worldwide. My hometown is the infamous Rotherham. I am a grooming gang survivor of the Pakistani grooming gangs, and I am one of an estimated 1,500 plus children identified in the Alexis J report into Rotherham. One of those children that not only was abused, trafficked and raped, but was systematically failed on an industrial scale. Those that was paid to protect turned a blind eye and become complicit in the evil and horrendous abuse of children. I have always said the only reason they said sorry was because they got caught brushing this national epidemic under that big carpet they like to have as a belonging. They seem to push the narrative that Rotherham was somewhat a mistake. No, Rotherham wasn't a mistake, it was a conspiracy. Children were fed to the wolves while the perpetrators were allowed to roam free. I was abused over a period of 4.5 years. I won't go into the details, but please take a second to just imagine your worst nightmare times 1,000, and you probably still wouldn't get to the place what hundreds of children have experienced. The isolation, the fear, the normalisation of such abuse. I could go on forever, but those feelings are not what an adult faced. It was a child. Children should feel nothing but safety and to live a happy childhood. I have took the consequences of other people's crimes against me since I was 14. I am now 37. During my abuse, in just a period of 10 weeks, I was kept in a flat for the purpose of to abuse and rape me. During the 10 weeks, my parents contacted the police over 200 times. No action was taken. Until something changed one day. They decided to take action. They arrested my dad. not once but twice. His crime, he tried to get me out of the property that his daughter was getting abused daily. Looking back, just at one event as an adult, I was that even right that during the period he was the only one made accountable for my abuse. An innocent man who was going out of his mind took priority for
The t-shirt is
over
back.
the abusers.
White History Month.
One of my abusers was a woman that preyed on young girls to then facilitate the abuse. With high intelligence already gathered on this offender from 1999, that's 4 years before I became a victim. The intelligence was that this particular offender had set up a fake rape crisis hotline to lure girls into exploitation. This was shut down by South Yorkshire Police in 1999. Rotherham Borough Council gave her a taxi contract to pick children up from school. She went under 9 different names. The intelligence around her was to a very high level, but still she did what she did without no consequences. When the J report came out in Rotherham, some people may have felt anger and upset and so many other emotions. I felt relieved, I felt vindicated, but I also knew that finally I wasn't that label of a naughty child that was responsible for my own abuse. The world knew we were always telling the truth. That day of the J report into Rotherham became the first step into my journey of becoming a survivor. The day I knew I had to fight not only for myself but all for those that didn't have a voice.
I need to bring a chair next time.
In my journey of campaigning, I've been blessed with meeting some amazing people. People that have been through absolute hell. And I look at them and think, how did we do it? How did we survive? We fought against the odds,
take a break quickly.
Even found herself being shoved on the back burner again. We get media attention for a while, and then it disappears. We get false promises from those that can make the change, and then they let us down. The same old vicious circles. Then after all those times, something changes here. One man in a different part of the world changed the narrative. That man was Elon Musk. He gave us a voice once again. Our stories rose again. Then we saw a call for a national inquiry, and the government stood in Parliament, told the thousands of survivors and their families, no, your voice and your need for justice won't be heard or given. How is this right? How can we justify such contempt against us? That justification was jumping on a 4-hour bandwagon and a dog whistle. Six full months they let us basically beg for justice, while blissfully insulting every single concerned person in this country. The audit found just exactly what the concerns and the injustice that had been raised for years. We then saw a U-turn, we was allowed an inquiry. This is when the fight starts again. We must not let them rewrite history on Britain's darkest secret. We must never become silenced again. We need this to be done. We need this to be done properly. We need to know the true extent throughout the country. We need to know the statistics to have proper data. We need to hold those that failed to account. We need to join the dots and make it what it is, organised crime. We need to see people being compelled to speak. We need to see actions, not only for us that have suffered, but the country's children. They are our future, they should be safe, and never for such evil. No. Out of the 4.5 years of abuse, due to missing and destroyed paperwork, I have only one perpetrator who has been sentenced. He was sentenced to 9 years in 2018. By 2020, he was allowed to go in open prison. He did just 2.5 years in a closed prison. Licence conditions were granted that he must not come into Rotherham again. Just 8 months after, he was just half a mile away from my home. He is recalled. This week, after a paper-based parole hearing, I was given the news that parole was denied and open prison conditions was denied. The summary was something that has made me feel quite upset this week. After the last 18 months of fighting to get him back in prison and being told you have to base things on facts and the label of me being emotionally unstable, my point was proven. I would just like to read you the risk assessment. Having considered the details and the circumstances of the index offences, as well as all the other evidence before it, the panel identified a number of risk factors, things that made it more likely that Mr Boston would reoffend. These risk factors have included offending for sexual gratification, a sexual interest in young teenagers, feeling entitled to sex associated with others who shared his interests, and having a lack of victim empathy. I wanted to share it so people have an insight of how the system doesn't work. This man was let out on automatic release with the full knowledge that he was likely to reoffend again. He was left for 8 months to potentially reoffend against children. This isn't justice, this is covering up crimes against children. I just want to say a huge thank you to every single person here today. Today you took part in making a stand for the children of this country. We also gave a little bit of hope to every single survivor in this country that their voice will still keep being heard.
Ladies and gentlemen, without people like Elizabeth doing what she just did, we wouldn't be having a national inquiry, I'm telling you that now. Please give her a massive round of applause.
Thank you.
Right. Most of the time, people hear the word grooming or grooming gang, and yeah, they may well associate it with the grooming towns, and be that what people sometimes describe as Asian, Pakistani. Not all groomers are Asian or Pakistani. Let's have it straight. The Catholic Church, the Church of England, they've all been guilty of it over the years. Yeah, so let's not just sit here and call one thing out, because all these people over the years have been guilty of doing this. Yeah? So yeah, don't pigeonhole it, we'll call it. Yeah? So when you think of grooming, and you think of grooming gangs, they're not all like that. Sometimes it might be that little nice man that you've known for years and years and years, and you've let him look after your kids, yeah? And you think, what a lovely man, and the whole community likes him. The next speaker that I'm going to invite up to speak to you is going to tell you a story about this. Her child was abused, she killed the perpetrator, and she went to prison for it. I'm not applauding that. I'm not applauding that. I'm not going to applaud that. But, ladies and gentlemen, this lady, right, is next up, is going to talk to you also about a campaign that we want you all to get behind. So please give it up. Yeah. Sarah Sands, please, ladies and gentlemen. Sarah's going to come out here and talk to you. Give her a round of applause, please. It's very brave. Very, very brave.
Thank you so much for having me. I don't know how much anybody knows about Della's law, but I really appreciate your time so I can bring some awareness to it. For 20 years, those in authority have known about a loophole that has left our children vulnerable and unprotected. Due to the negligence in acting and finding a solution, children have been violated and murdered. Families continue to be ripped apart. It has taken an incredibly courageous woman to stand up and draw close to her those that will not back down or be swayed under big words and complicated legislations. Della Wright, who could not be here today, has been campaigning, fighting and gathering evidence for over 7 years to protect our children. Della has gained the support of MPs, multiple organisations and thousands of people. Della's Law is now on its second reading in Parliament under the Crime Policing Bill. I have come here today as one of those families torn apart by this loophole, and my children were amongst the children that had been affected by this loophole that should have been closed 20 years ago when they found out Ian Huntley had changed his name to get that job as a caretaker in a primary school. In 2014, I was arrested for murder. Our lives were already torn apart by the actions of one man who had changed his name after 30 years of abusing children to evade exposure due to changing his name and getting a clean DBS check. In these terrifying cases, both Claire's Law and Sarah's Law are not fully protecting us. Parliament knows it, the authorities know it, and they have known it for over 20 years. I wanted to be here today as a reminder that as the proposed legislation is going back and forth in Parliament, that they remember we are real people with real traumas due to the authorities' neglect in closing this loophole. Della has wrote a book, Trapped, and it's on social media as Della's Law if anybody would like any more information. It is for us to remember the power we hold in our voices to make change, spread awareness, and to save our children.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up to Sarah Sands, please. Okay, we've got a couple more speakers. Yeah? That's good. And at the moment, 1 second please, we've got... Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear from one more survivor here who's got another story to tell and has got another campaign for you to get behind. It's really important we get behind these campaigns. What was you just said there about Ian Huntley, yeah? The fact that he was able to do that. And after 20 years and 30 years, these people are able to change their names and all of a sudden they lose their criminal record, yeah? We need to be on this and make sure these people do this. Right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to hear from another young survivor here who's going to tell you a story. Please give a massive reception for Kira, please.
Hello. Bear with me because I'm a bit nervous and it's my first time. Thank you all for being here today, standing with us and lending your voice, a cause that is too often silenced. My name is Kira and I'm a survivor of sexual abuse, but I'm more than just a survivor. I'm a person who's finding my strength, my voice, and my path to healing. Yes! At 16 years old, I just finished school and was groomed by my local shopkeeper who was 55, Harry Shankar. With the support and encouragement of my friends and family, I pressed charges and went to court. This was a long and hard journey that went on for 5 years. Adjourned twice, I gave up so many times, and we finally made it to court in 2023 for the trial. Me and my friends were cross-examined for a whole day and made to feel like we were the criminals. Only for Harry Shankar to accept a lesser charge of paying for sexual activities from a 16-year-old. Instead of taking the stand, he took the easier way out. His original charges were 2 sexual assaults and 2 sexual penetrations, and then he accepted the plea for sexual acts of a 16-year-old. I was completely destroyed all over again and made to feel like I consented and was accepting the payment for this. So far from the truth. Harry Shankar was also subject to immigration and did not have the right to remain in the UK. He should have been granted this, but after he pleaded guilty to the lesser charge, he was also granted the right to remain in the country, a failing from our Home Service in immigration. I'm still fighting this today after finding information that he is still committing offences and breaching his sexual harm prevention order. I reached out to Gurmit Singh, and from this came my documentary, Kira's Justice. If you haven't seen it, please watch, and you'll hear all about my story. I'm on YouTube, X and Twitter. This is something that I'm still living every day. My perpetrator is back in court next week for breaching his order, and let's just hope justice is finally done.
Well done, Kira.
I'm here because this can happen to anybody. It's not about what you look like or how you act. These people prey on the vulnerable, and I'm lucky to have the support to fight this because many other people haven't.
Go on, Kira!
For many years, I felt the weight of silence, carried the shame, the fear, the doubt, and all the confusion. It isn't easy, but I've learned something important. Nobody should have to carry the burden of abuse alone. No one should have to be made to feel ashamed of something that wasn't done to them. This is why I'm standing here today, and why I've created Kira's Voice for Change, number 4, just to let you know. Because I don't want survivors to know that they're not alone and their voice does matter. I want to say this clearly, there is no shame in speaking out, there is no shame in telling the truth, and no shame in seeking help. There's no shame in asking for support. This shame belongs to those who commit these unspeakable acts, not to those who have been harmed. And together, we can break the silence that has allowed abuse to continue for too long. Kira's Voice for Change is more than my story. It's a platform where we can amplify the survivors, where we can create a community that uplifts, supports and empowers one another. I believe that by sharing our stories, we make it harder for the darkness of abuse to thrive. We shed the light on truth. We bring hope to others that are still suffering in silence. And I want to actually make a change, first by spreading awareness, and then I want to find a meaningful change. And I've decided the only way that we can do that is to change the law in England to ensure that perpetrators of a child's sexual abuse cannot accept a lesser plea deal and dismiss the impact of their crimes. Petition has been submitted. Please keep an eye out on the social media when it's live. Please get behind it.
Why?
If you are here today, if you are listening, and
Yeah.
to the messages on
So yeah, we just got the update.
I want you to know your story does matter, and you.
We just got the update that the police stopped the big crowd from joining the main rally. So a lot of them are now stuck on the other side of Trafalgar Square.
Let today be a reminder for us all, we are not alone, we are powerful, we are brave together, and we can make this world a safer place for children. Thank you.
Go on, Kira.
Phil Hicken, please give this man a round of applause. The amount of work he does, unbelievable. Phil's going to read something out to you. Give it up for Phil Hicken.
Right, it's just a short statement that I want to read out, yeah. Although we welcome the news of a full inquiry into the epidemic of child grooming rape gangs, let's not let ourselves be distracted away from the fact that Tommy Robinson was incarcerated for an airing Right, let's not get distracted away from the fact that Tommy Robinson was incarcerated for airing a documentary exposing the unbelievable case of Bailey McLaren, the 15-year-old Huddersfield schoolboy who had his life destroyed by a total media lie. We suggest everyone here today should watch the documentary Silenced. If you haven't already had, and if you haven't already watched it, then please watch it. Make sure to share it to those who haven't. We demand a full investigation. Sorry. We demand a full investigation where all witnesses are allowed to speak freely and without fear of repercussions. A total exoneration and public apology for Tommy Robinson and Bailey McLaren. For Tommy Robinson, and Bailey McLaren, who, let's not forget, who is still in hiding, purely because he defended his sister's threat of rape and violence. Let's listen. While we're here,
just got a message.
let's forget. He's not here today, Tommy. He was going to come, but
might have to go somewhere.
He's not well at the moment.
Hang on, guys.
So I want to give everyone. Let's have a round of applause for Tommy Robinson.
I need to deal with something quickly. This is get Niak. I can't say right now what's happening, but okay, so what? Niak. Guys, unfortunately we have to deal with something right now. I'll try to come back shortly. Thank you so much. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi and we are the media.